Good morning again. I'm going to start now and try to go through the things that I got over the last couple of days when I was in St. John's. First thing I want to mention is that I've changed the name of my channel from Annie's Knickknacks to Annie's Knickknacks and Treasures. Annie's Knickknacks was a name I came up with in a hurry because I had to call it something. And while a lot of what I pick up certainly would fall in the knick-knack category, there are a few things that I would consider treasures. So just wanted to update that. I was at thrift stores, estate sales, flea markets, yard sales. So there's a lot, and we'll just go ahead and get started. This was from a church sale, and it is a little wooden clock. I haven't tested it yet. I have to get a battery and test it. Even if it didn't work, I still think it's cute, and I will display it with my Hummels. And it is an original Hummel. It has the Hummel mark. I don't know how well you can see it there, but I thought that was a cute little thing, and so I picked it up. Trying to find room now behind me to put things as I've shown them. I bought this at a thrift store. It was in a case, and I said, "Oh my, that looks nice." When they took it out, they realized, and I realized, that it's just a cover. There's no bottom. And I thought it might be Mary Gregory. It's not marked. Anyway, because there was just a cover and no bottom, she said I could have it for $1. It is hand painted. So I said, you know what? For $1, I'm going to get that. I may have a jar that it can fit on. If not, I can display it on a shelf just as it is. It's pretty green color. It's well painted, and yeah, $1 is really neither here nor there. So I got that. I did get a cup and saucer at, I think I got this at Value Village, and it is Royal Vale, which I don't often buy, to be honest. Unfortunately, and I think it was me, I think I broke the saucer because a lot of these thrift stores, they'll wrap things for you, but they don't wrap them that well. And you almost feel like saying to them, can you put a bit more paper on it? But I don't, and I probably should have, because when I got this home, the saucer had a bad crack. I know it wasn't cracked when I picked it up, or I wouldn't have bought it. But anyway, so I have a cup now with no saucer. This came from a church sale. Don't know how well you can see. It's a beautiful cobalt blue dish, and I do believe that this is vintage. And I don't know if I should turn my overhead lights off because I can see that there's a bit of a reflection. It probably still has some sticker residue on it, but it's a very pretty tray, and there are no cracks, no chips. It's in perfect condition. So there's that. And we do have a lot to get through today. A lot. I got this at the church sale. It's not old. It is sort of a reproduction of an old deer. It is a stocking holder. I wouldn't necessarily use it to hold a stocking. I would probably put it in a display at Christmas time. It is heavy and sturdy, and it is a beautiful little deer. He has a sort of a sugared finish. So yeah, I saw that and I grabbed it. Didn't get a lot of Christmas. There is, I think, at least one other item, though. I went to visit a lady to pick up a teapot and some cups, and I'll show them later. And she had on her table a set of Royal Albert Lavender Rose. And you know that I recently bought some lavender rose dishes. And I admired them and asked her what she wanted for them. It's not a full set. There's only 2 of the salad plates. And I did discover a chip on one of the dinner plates. But anyway, I walked away from them. I said, no, you don't need them. Don't get them. And later that day, she messaged me and she said she was thinking about me and did I want to make an offer on the dishes. And I did, and I thought she would not accept my offer, but she did. So now I have another set of Royal Albert Lavender Rose. I'm going to go to Dion to get the missing plates to make it into a set of 8. And I may end up selling it because I do have an extra cream and sugar and butter dish in that pattern. Anyway, there was that. I stopped at a roadside sale. There was an older gentleman who had mostly tools, but he did have this beautiful dish. And it is hand-painted Nippon. And I asked him what he wanted for it, and he said $1. I only had a $20 bill, and he didn't want to change that, so he told me to just take it. So that was very nice of him. And I know, yes, it has a couple of little chips. It looks like it was on one of those wire wall hanger things, but it's still very pretty. It is hand-painted, as I said, with the flowers and the bird on the branch. And I'm sure I'll find some way to display that. And it was just so nice of him to give it to me. This came from our local Salvation Army. And it is a little clear glass tray with the center handle. It has an etched, a wheat pattern, I would call that. And I guess that would be nice even for, cheese slices or something. It's not really big enough for sandwiches, although you may get a few little cookies on it. But it is sweet. So I got that. Let us see. This actually came from Value Village. And considering that their prices are usually way too high, they had this priced fairly low. And it is the Royal Albert Poinsettia Christmas Cream and Sugar. And I already have, I think, a couple of these plus the large one. So I may end up selling this again. But I think it was $6.50, which is a really low price. And when I see Royal Albert at a thrift store at a reasonable price, I'm going to buy it. So there was that. I don't even have a lot of room behind me. This plate I picked up at a roadside sale. And I know plates are not that collectible. Collector plates actually are not that collectible now. This is from 1976, and it's Valentine's Day, which I thought was different and unusual. And it does have a poem on the back, and it is Royal Dalton. And I'm not going to read the poem, I don't think, because it's not that long, but we don't want to take up too much time. But it's a beautiful plate, even has the roses on the back, and the Victorian children. I just thought it was a beautiful plate. And as I say, it is Royal Dalton, so it's certainly good quality. And I did get one other plate at that roadside sale. That's this one, which is a hand-painted, and it is Limoges, France. So that's a beautiful plate. I think there's a tiny chip on one of the edges here. And this was in a plate holder. And I asked him to sell me the plate without the holder. He could use the holder for another plate and sell it again. But anyway, that's going to go with my collection of hand-painted rose plates. And I think that's just beautiful. So there's that one. I'll lay this back here. Now, at the church sale, I picked up 4 of these bowls, these rimmed soup bowls. And the brand name is Pegasus, and it's fine porcelain. Now, they were only 75 cents each. The main reason I bought them was I thought that they might look nice with my Moonlight Rose Royal Albert, because I don't have bowls with that pattern. And because of the blues that are in the bowl, and in the china. They're not too bad. They don't match it as quite as well as I would have liked. But until I get Moonlight Rose soup bowls, I think I could make do with these. And as I said, they were 75 cents each, and they are good quality porcelain. So we got them. Okay. This was also from the church sale. And this is another piece of Limoges, France. And it is a gravy or sauce boat with an attached underplate. Very pretty pattern there of a garland of green leaves and little pink roses. Very delicate pattern. And there's no chips or cracks. It's in perfect condition. So there was that. And this particular church sale, their prices are so reasonable. And they have a really big haul that they fill with items. And I didn't realize until I was there this weekend that they actually clear the hall after the sale. They have their sale on Saturday mornings, I think from 10 till 5 on Saturdays. But every Saturday they will take everything and put it away. And Thursday night is the night for donation drop-offs. And then Friday they'll put it all out for Saturday, because the hall is used for other purposes during the week. That is an awful lot of work. So I guess the more stuff you can take out of their way, the better. I got this at that sale. It is not marked. And I'm pretty sure this is an old German piece, because you can recognize just the way it's made, the raised details in the flower and the leaves. Not sure if it was a sugar bowl or a waste bowl. Not sure, but it's pretty. And as I said, the price was not bad, so I got that. These two little plates, again, came from Value Village. And I think they were only like $2 each. And I do believe, and I'm not sure how well you can see it, but I do believe that these are hand-painted. They do need a good wash. They've got some sticker residue. And these are RS, and it says Tillowitz, and I do believe that's a German pattern. They are quite old, little square plates. They're sort of a pale yellow color, and they've got the roses. I thought they were just lovely. And as I said, if you're using different teacups, it's nice to have some different plates to mix in, just to make an interesting table setting. So there's those. Back here. And let me see. Oh yeah, this came from the church sale as well. I do believe that this may be from Italy. It is stoneware. It's a nice vase. I guess you could keep it in your kitchen to put some utensils in. Yeah, it's a nice little pottery piece. I could see a lot of uses for it. So I got that. And you can see how maybe something might get broken in my car on the way home, because I'm only in a small car and all of this is in the back. This, I think, yes, this came from Value Village. And their mugs actually are not expensive. This is a beautiful Christmas mug, and it is fine bone china made in England. You've got a little picture of Santa Claus on the back and the larger Santa on the front. And it's really nice graphics. And I like to have a few nice Christmas mugs in my cupboard, because you don't always use your full china set. Sometimes you might be just grabbing a quick cup of tea or coffee. And yeah, so I got that. Yeah. The price is still on this. It was $2.25. I bought this for my husband because I recently purchased an espresso maker for him. So I thought, well, I think I'll pick up this little cup and saucer for him to use with that. So it's not unwrapped or washed or anything yet. That's the other three of those bowls that I mentioned. So, I mean, they're in perfect condition. And they are really nice bowls to use with that china or with some other china. I haven't decided. And let's see what else we have here. These two little candle holders came from a yard sale. And they are, I think, crystal. And the prices were reasonable there. There wasn't a lot of what I'd call glassware. And so I just decided, I think I was trying to make it up so I wouldn't have to get any change from them. So I grabbed those to go with what I had. I'm going to try to lift this up without breaking it. Now this came from the lady where I bought the lavender rose china. Her and her husband are both in their 80s, but they're moving out of their home into a smaller apartment, so she was selling some things. And she asked me if I was interested in that. It is a very heavy milk glass, and it's in perfect condition. So I thought it was nice. Whether, excuse me, whether I'll keep that or sell it, I don't know. But I did get it. And let's see. Honestly, don't remember if I got this at Value Village or the church sale. And I'm kind of thinking Value Village. It's a large-sized cup, a nice lusterware cup with plums and fruit. And it is from Japan. And I normally like the Made in England cups, but I have to say that is a very pretty one. See how big the saucer is. So I couldn't really pass that one up. Got that. I think this came from the church sale, and this is probably what I would class as a knick-knack. It's just a little handmade in Holland, Delftware. It's a little boy and girl. They are well made and apparently hand-painted, and it's just a cute little thing to put on a shelf or whatever you might want to do with it. And it was very inexpensive, so I grabbed it, and they're a little kissing couple. This is also from the church sale. And of course it is a vase, an ewer. I think it is older. And it's actually a souvenir. This is the name of a town or a city in Germany. I won't try to translate or pronounce, but that's what that is, a souvenir piece. And I just thought it was lovely because it is lusterware. And it has this beautiful raised flower here with the red rhinestone in the center, and just something very different. And that probably could use a better cleaning as well. Some of this stuff that I stopped at the yard sales, I think there were some things that were in people's basements for years. Not everything, but definitely some things. This was a yard sale find. That is a lead crystal bud vase in the pinwheel pattern. I'm not sure who the maker is, but it's really heavy lead crystal. I don't see a mark on it to say if it is one of the better known makers, but it's still very nice and a lovely bud vase. So I was glad to get that. You see the pinwheel pattern. This is a piece from the church sale. It is hand painted Nippon. It has an old mark on the bottom, and it's very, very pretty. You've got bands of roses, and then there's bands of sort of black and white, and it's got some raised gold detail. Another band of roses, and at the top there's the two tiny handles and more detail here at the top, more hand-painted detail, if you can see that. And it's not a terribly big vase. Just let me move this back a bit here, and maybe I can lay it down and you can get a better idea. of the size of it. Now, just move this back another little bit. Just bear with me. I'm definitely going to have to get a bigger area for doing this type of thing. Anyway, there it is. You can probably see now the size of that vase. So it's not large, but it's very nice. And there's not any damage. There could be some gold loss, but that's to be expected. Okay. I stopped at a roadside sale and picked up 6 of these plates. They are a cubist design. They are pink. They're very nice. No damage. I think I might have paid a bit more than what they were worth, actually. But there was no internet service where we were, because the person said he could show me on Google what these were going for. But he couldn't because he had no service. And again, what something may be going for, what someone's asking for something is not necessarily what they're going to get for it. But there's a set of 6, which I thought was great, and they are very pretty, and they weren't too expensive. So, and he was a nice older gentleman, so I bought them. This, I guess, would be another knick-knack thing. It's from the church sale. I believe it's cast iron. It is a napkin holder. You could almost use it as a doorstop or just put it on a shelf as an ornament. And, of course, it's a black and white cow, and we all know that cows are fairly popular, so I got that. And I'll put this back here. And I got, actually, there's a set of 4 of these. And I think they're probably, I don't know if they were for sake or tea. As I said, not tea that we would drink here, not our cup of tea. And they probably are too large for an egg cup. Now, there is a place not far from us that sells very big double yolker eggs, and I think they would fit in there. But at any rate, even to just use it as a ramekin or as an ornament, something maybe to hold your rings or whatever. It's very pretty. They're all the same. They have pink flowers and green leaves and the little bird in the branches. And I believe these 2 are likely hand painted. So I thought they were nice. I thought it was nice that there was a set of 4. So I won't show you the other 3. It's really not necessary. Let's see. Yeah, this is a Value Village find. And I guess it's a jam or condiment jar. It does have a slot for a spoon, as you can see. There's no spoon with it, but I do have extra spoons here. And it has a glass insert. And the insert does come out. There's no damage to any of it. So I thought that was a nice thing to have. Certainly, as I said, for pickles or jam or any condiment, really. And the fact that it's got the handle. I'm not sure. I think that the lid and the holder are likely silver plated. So that's very pretty. If I could find a colored glass insert to put in there, it would look even nicer. But for now, the clear one that came with it is fine. Lay that back here. And we'll lay this back here. Yeah, so we can make a bit more room. Now, this was from a yard sale. Let's get that in focus there. And this is a lead crystal jar. And actually, this does have a mark on the bottom, which I hadn't noticed before. And looks like Crystal d'Arc, if I'm not mistaken. But the cover and the jar, it's in perfect condition. You could use it for a larger sized candy jar. You could use that in your kitchen for sugar packets or something like that. You know, there's a lot of uses for a jar like this, so I thought it was quite pretty and I grabbed it. So there's that. I had a wonderful drive home yesterday because I was by myself and I could stop at every yard sale that I came to. Now, I didn't buy anything at every sale because there wasn't always something to buy, but I did get a few things. We got this cream and sugar. Let's try to get that better focused. And I know this is vintage and I know I should know the pattern. I'm going to have to start making more notes because I do know things, and the minute I start my video, my mind goes blank. But they are in perfect condition, and they did come with the matching tray, and sort of a diamond shape, so it fits on the tray very nicely. So you've got your cream and open sugar on the tray. That's something that I will be probably putting on our weekly auction here, because I say I can't keep everything as much as I'd like to. And I would. And this is also a yard sale find. And this is another piece of crystal. Beautiful dish. Very heavy. It's footed. It's got 3 little feet there at the bottom. Here's the lid. There's not a chip or a crack or any damage whatsoever. And that's a beautiful candy dish, or again, you could use it on your table to serve condiments or anything at all. Or in your bathroom for anything you might want to use that for. You'd have, or just to lay it out as it is, because the light just reflects on it very nicely. So you wouldn't have to put anything in it. There's that. Now we're getting there. We got this set of bookends also at a yard sale. And I guess that's a signature of some kind there on the bottom. I never really noticed that because I just bought them because they are a set of bookends. There was 2 of them and they didn't appear to have any damage. And they could be a souvenir of Mexico. I don't know. And there's the bottom of this one. And it almost seems like something that was handmade, possibly hand-painted. And I say that because the paint is not the same on both of them. And they're in perfect condition. Very nice bookends. So I got those. Okay. This little basket was from the church sale. It's got a wire handle. It just says Japan on the bottom. It's got a nice embossed pattern. There's only flowers on one side, pink roses. So that would look nice to use it as a vase, or again, use it for cotton balls in your bathroom, or just as a decorative object. It's very nice. So I got that. It's a very nice thin porcelain. This came from Value Village, and I thought it might be an older piece. Well, it is an older piece, but how old, from when, I'm not sure. It's a very large. When I looked online, they said butter dish. I would have called it a cheese dome, and I have had a few of these. I don't recall seeing one in clear glass before. So anyway, I probably overpaid for that, but I got it anyway, and now it's here. It is quite heavy, and it is nice. And as I say, I would not think to put butter in that. It's shaped like a cheese dish, and I think that's what I would call it. So there was that. then I do have some things laid down on a chair here, so we do have a little bit of a ways to go. I got this at a yard sale. Now, this is a Capodimonte piece. I think it was in someone's attic or basement for at least 20 years. I had such a time to get the dust off of it, and in between all these petals, I ended up getting a spray bottle and filling it with warm soapy water, just spraying it and gently laying it on one side to drain and then doing the other side, because it's not something you can just lay upside down. Now, I know that there's a fair bit of damage on this. A lot of the petals have damage. And I think what I will probably do is get a bottle of pink nail polish and just touch up the edges just so that they're not as sharp. But it does have the Capodimonte mark. It's quite large. It's very pretty. And it is my favorite thing, which is the roses, of course. You see this one here is missing a few pieces on the top. But a bit of pink nail polish, I think, could touch that up. I was just glad to rescue it, because I think if it went back in that basement, that would have been the end of it. It was obviously not something that was being looked after or treasured. So now it will be. And there it is. And it is a big basket. It's very nice and quite large. Just move my camera in just a little bit. So there was that. That's the first thing I spotted when I stopped at that yard sale. And it was well into the afternoon then. And I think the only reason nobody else had bought it was maybe because it was so dirty. And maybe because it had those few chips. But as I say, Capodimonte is an expensive thing to collect. And I think I paid $5 for that. So that was well worth it to me. This I got, again, at Value Village. And I think these are pickle jars. And they have their original lids. There is some, I suppose, little flea bites around the edges of the tops. And it has a faceted sort of a lid. It is in a nice silver plated holder. I just like the look of it. And so I decided, yeah, I'm going to get that too. Let's see what we've missed. And I think I got this at the church sale. And it was only a couple of dollars. And I thought that it might be American Brilliant because it does have, you know, deep cuts. I don't think it is, though. I'm thinking now that this is likely pressed glass, but it certainly is vintage glass. It's a lovely piece, and it has absolutely no damage to any of the sawtooth edge, which is kind of remarkable. And it's a beautiful dish to use as a serving dish for, again, almost anything, really. So there's that. This back over here. And let's see what we've got down here. I'm going to pick some of this stuff up and move some of the rest of it aside. I think I just broke another rose petal. Okay. Okay, let's get on with this now. This cup and saucer was another Value Village find. And this one is Royal Imperial. And it's a beautiful cup. There is very light crazing on the saucer. You really may not even be able to see it on camera. I didn't see it till I got it home because I don't know what it is about these places with the fluorescent lights, but things, they just don't show up as well as maybe they should. But I'm not to the point where I'd be comfortable using a black light or something like that in public. I'm not. I've seen people do it, but I'm not there yet. But this is Royal Imperial. It is bone china, made in England. Very nicely shaped cup. Beautiful saucer. And actually they had the cup and saucer. I found them in 2 different places in the store, and they were priced separately, but that was that. So I got it to add to my cup and saucer collection. No damage. You'll have to excuse that. I did hit something, but it wasn't anything that I've been showing you. Okay. This is a Royal Albert cup and saucer that I got, I think, at the church sale. This is the Prince Edward Island tartan. And I think I bought one of these tartans a week or so ago at an estate sale, but it wasn't Royal Albert. And I think that was $2.50 at the church sale. So a Royal Albert cup for $2.50 is not bad. So I grabbed it. Very carefully lay this behind me and try not to bang into that stuff on the floor. This came from a thrift store. It is a cake plate, beautiful, with pale pink roses. It is Queen Anne. When I got it, there was a set of 6 of the small dessert plates. When I got them home, 1 was cracked. And so now I have 5. Because I don't, if something is cracked or damaged, it normally gets well wrapped, because I don't put any broken glass in the garbage without wrapping it. But it goes, because I'm not going to use it. And these 2, some of them have light crazing under the glaze. I think the reason that the plate was cracked again is that they'll just put they would take a bundle of plates like this and wrap paper around them. Well, the plates are still touching off each other, and you really need to put paper between them all. But actually, this was a thrift store that had just opened. It was their first day. They were very busy, and I didn't really want to say too much about how she was wrapping the plates, but that's it. But it's very pretty. Again, Queen Anne is not something I normally gravitate towards, but I thought these were beautiful with these pale pink roses and the lovely green foliage. And having the cake plate, of course, is a bonus, and really nice for mix and match teacups. So we got that. And let's see what else we've got here. Bring some things closer. I got this at the church sale. I actually bought this with that cow napkin holder I showed you. It's nothing particularly fancy or expensive. There was a milk jug. The milk jug had a lot of damage along the side, which I didn't notice in the church, and someone had covered it over with black marker. So I threw it away once I got it home, because I'm not going to put that on the auction, on the local auction, to try to sell it. And I'm not going to use it myself. So it was too bad. It would have been nice to have the milk and sugar. But that's fine. I'll use the milk jug and see how that goes. This next lot was from Value Village, and I think this is something maybe I overpaid for. I just liked it. I think I'll like it better once I get some Brasso and get it cleaned up. It is a hammered brass teapot with the cream and sugar. Very heavy. It has a hinged lid. It does need cleaning inside and out. Now, I read online that the inside is supposed to be silver plated. I don't know. It looks like it could be, but I don't know. But you can see the hammered brass. It was a set of 3, and it's just very pretty, a very pretty display item. I don't always shine things up, because sometimes I like to see a patina on something, but I think in this case I will, because I think that would look beautiful once it's cleaned up. And then if I did decide to resell it, it would be more appealing. I'll probably spend as much now buying brass on cleaner as I did for the teapot set. That's what happens. And we got this plate. And this was at the new thrift store that I just reopened. It's a beautiful brown transferware. And just says Halmar English Village. And it's from Japan. And it's a beautiful, well, I guess I'd call that a platter more than a plate. Certainly nice to use, but it would look beautiful also on a plate rack or on a baker's rack somewhere. Just the flowers here in the bottom, and it's very detailed, very pretty. Actually prettier than I realized. Might be a bit of tape residue left on it, but it's very nice. So there was that. This tray came from, I went to a yard sale, and there was a couple there, and they said, when you're finished looking here, actually it was the yard sale where I got the Capodimonte, they said, do you want to come across the street, because we're clearing out a house. And apparently the father, who was in his 90s, had passed away, and they were emptying out his house. But the sale had been on the go for a few days, so there was very little left. I did get this tray, and this is made in the German Democratic Republic. There is some gold gloss along the edges, but no chips or cracks. And again, it has the nice rose garland pattern, and it's nice white porcelain. So I got that. The other thing that I got at that sale was this basket of strawberries. And that's, again, is pretty dusty. Say the older gentleman who was in his 90s had lived alone with support from family, of course, nearby. But I feel I did try to wash this, and I did get some of the dust off. But I think it needs maybe a good soak. But it's not damaged. It's in perfect condition. And it's a basket of strawberries. I don't see a maker's mark. There's what looks like the remnants of very old masking tape, or maybe a price tag on the bottom. But it's a cute little thing. And again, a lovely centerpiece if you were serving dessert with strawberry shortcake, for sure. And let's see. Speaking of cake, I think this came from the church sale. There is no plate to go with it. It is a Mikasa bone china cake server. It's got a nice patterned handle and lovely rose pattern on the bottom here. Well, actually it's roses and fruit. So yeah, and it was very inexpensive, and I thought that's a nice thing to get. So I got that. And we're getting near the end, believe it or not. This came from the Salvation Army, my local Salvation Army. I don't think it's old. It probably was bought not too long ago at Home Sense. But it is a beautiful vase. Beautiful colors. And it does appear to be hand blown. It's got a polished bottom. I haven't checked anything on it. But it is a nice vase. And again, that's something that I could put on the weekly auction to try to recoup some of the money that I spend on the things that I'm planning to keep. So that's a nice thing. Now I'm just going to move some of these lavender rose cups out of the way so that I can get at something I've laid over here. And I don't really have any place better to do these videos than here on my kitchen table. And I don't leave the leaves in the table all the time because our kitchen isn't that big. So the table then is not as big as it could be. This is made in Germany, fine china. You see there's the mark. And it's just a really pretty tray. Again, seems I have a few of this shape of trays in this lot. But I thought that's something that would look really nice with my Royal Albert Flower of the Month, because it has so many different types of flowers that, you know, you could use it with those cups and saucers and it would probably look quite nice. That's my plan anyway. We'll see how that looks. And it's a nice sandwich or cookie tray. And again, there's no damage, no gold gloss. It's in perfect condition. I'm going to lay this right down here. Considering how I'm moving things around, it's a miracle I haven't broken anything. Now, the lady that I bought the lavender rose from, I went to see her to pick up a specific china set, or a specific teapot, I should say. And that was this little set here. Just move it over here. And again, it's not a full set, but I saw it on Marketplace, and I really, really liked the teapot. And I guess that's what I was going for. And of course, then when I got there and saw the lavender rose, I wanted that as well. But it is Royal Adderley. And here's the teapot. Beautiful little teapot. It is white and it just has a silver flower. Great for a 25th anniversary, although it doesn't say happy anniversary on it anywhere. Not sure how old it is, but it is lovely. And we have 5 cups and saucers. There's only the one plate, which is, I guess, an 8-inch plate, which you could put a few cookies on. And again, a very nice set to, if you wanted to give somebody an afternoon cup of tea. And the teapot is in perfect condition. I'll just move it over a bit so you can get a better look at it. And when I saw it on Marketplace, and I think she wanted $20 for the set. And $20 for any kind of a teapot, I think, is a bargain. So that was that. I had to get it. So yeah, it's a lovely teapot. It's in perfect condition, and it may be one that I may start using as my daily teapot for a while. I don't know. And I have that Royal Albert, those dinner plates in the Moon Song, I think is the name of them, that are gray with a platinum band. I have the Chantilly cream soup bowls that are white with a platinum band. So if I could find some more pieces in that color scheme, I could mix and match myself a nice set of dishes. And maybe that's what I'll do. So there's that. And I stopped at a roadside sale, and I was asking the person if he had any cups. And he had this set. Now, he had it in a cupboard, and it was full of dust and dirt. And again, I asked what he wanted for it, and I thought the price was more than reasonable. It's not a full set. My first thought when I looked at it was that it was something from Japan, but it's not. It's actually from Bavaria, and from what I can tell, this is probably from 1914. Now, he didn't mention the damage. There is some damage. Like, for example, the milk jug has a couple of chips. I will probably look for some orange nail polish again and just cover that up. And it's not something that I'm going to throw away because it's damaged, because I don't know that I would use this set for other than display anyway. And it's not something that I'm going to be able to replace. So there was a milk jug, a sugar dish with the cover. Sugar dish is in perfect condition other than a bit of gold gloss. And there's, let's see, 3. I thought there was 4 cups, but I'm only seeing 3. And the cups too, like There's a little chip in that one. But again, they are pretty. I'm not going to part with them. Some of these, like this saucer, this is not a chip. This is actually, the paint is worn off, and I don't know if it's just from being laid on top of each other. And as I say, these were in a shed or a barn somewhere too for a very long time. I've done an initial wash on them, but they're still not what I'd call clean by any means. So there was, 3 cups, cream and sugar, some small plates, one larger size plate. We have a teapot, which appears to be in perfect condition, and I would have bought the teapot alone, honestly. And imagine how nice to display this around Halloween. And there's the back stamp. I don't know how well you can see that. Trying to get that to focus. How far away or how close have I got to bring it to get it? There we go. So it's very pretty. It's black with orange accents, and it has a pattern of roses on either side. So it's a very different looking tea set for sure. I liked it a lot. I just had to find a place now to display it. And along with the teapot, we have what I would think is a chocolate pot. I wouldn't call that a coffee pot. I think it is a chocolate pot. And this too is in perfect condition. I don't know if this was ever used. It doesn't even have any gold gloss on the handle. And there's the inside. No chips, no cracks. And you can see there on the bottom of this, it just has RW. That looks like made in Germany. RW made in Germany. And there is an embossed number. So how pretty is that? And there's the lid. That fits on just so. And then there was this tray that went with it. So that's another bonus, I guess. And this just says RW made in Germany. So it's a large tray, not a chip or a crack or any damage at all. I'm trying to get it so it doesn't reflect my overhead light. That just has the one little medallion in the middle with the roses. So that was something I thought was quite different. And I could not leave that behind. And I'm sure I'll find somewhere to display it and show it off. It's just so different. Look, the colors are just so vibrant. Now, I think that may be about it. I did buy a Christmas wall hanging and a couple of dolls. I'm not going to show you them. I did want to show you this. I'll lift this up and see if we can get this. This was also from the lady with the Royal Adderley and Royal Albert. And it is a vintage nativity. And I'm going to plug it in. I don't know how well you'll see the light because it's daytime. But it is beautiful. It just has the Holy Family and a few sheep with it. I'm sure I could probably use this with other nativity pieces if I wanted to. These are made in Hong Kong. And they are plastic. And it has a note on the bottom. Now you see how well that looks lit up? And I'm not sure if you're seeing this note. I'm trying to get it into focus for you. What it says is, purchased in the 60s, given to our great-granddaughter, looks like Kaylee, in the year 2000 in memory of Nan and Pop Bruce, or Pop and Nan Bruce. So I was really surprised that somebody would sell something that had family history. But I guess when you're downsizing, you don't have a choice. I just think it's beautiful. I don't know if this is what's referred to as the popcorn in the Christmas collector world. It could be. But I think that that is quite a collectible piece just without the nativity figures. So yeah, I paid up a little bit for that, but again, she was a very nice lady. She gave me an excellent deal on the Royal Albert, and there it is. It's here. So I think I've covered everything, and I hope I haven't gone on too long. And once again, thanks for watching. Thanks for subscribing. Please leave a comment, a suggestion on how I can improve. I will take any constructive criticism. And you all have a great day. We'll talk again soon. Bye-bye.